Chapter 844, Hambone versus Meat Man. Hello everyone and welcome to a new episode of the Cast. I am your host and captain, the best guy ever. And with me, as always, is Hypocrite.
I have a YouTube channel. I should have mentioned that a long time ago.
What is it?
It's youtube.com/hypocrite show.
No, I mean, what's a YouTube channel?
It's where
We're just two pirate boys on a ship. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that's the new science from Vegapunk.
Whoa, Vegapunk invented YouTube. That's...
Yep.
I can see it happening. Probably, I bet... Yeah, go on.
He invented the internet, because the internet was a military thing. He works for the Marines.
That's true. I bet at some point, like, the Den Mushis have taken on more and more roles. When are we going to get the Den Mushi smartphone? It's got to happen at some point. He's just going to open his mouth and be like, blah. There's going to be a little touch screen in his mouth that does various gross things.
You have to use your tongue.
That's all right. You made it gay. You officially hashtag made it gay. All right. So the chapter 844, Luffy versus Sanji. So let me say first of all, last episode of the podcast, I predicted that. I mean, it was pretty clear.
Yeah.
But that this was going to be a big Luffy v Sanji battle chapter.
I mean, what else?
And
could
in many ways, it absolutely was. But I actually want to say that I was totally wrong in the way that it was handled, and I'm so glad. This was a chapter that the first time I read it, I thought it was fine. It was, totally par for the course. But upon reading it a second and a third time, which is what I do because I'm a crazy person, I realized that this is a way more genius way to handle this situation than I had expected.
Why did you only figure that out on the second read?
I think it was just because I read it fast,
Maybe. I figured it out straight away, because I'm the greatest.
Well, we're not all geniuses, Hippo. Some of us ate the slow fruit. It takes us a couple times to read.
You got hit by the Foxy beam.
That's exactly right. The narrow. That's the one. Narrow beam. So last time, the thing that came to mind, I said last episode, was... that I thought this was going to be like the Sanji version of the Whiskey Peak Zoro and Luffy fight, and it absolutely was not. That fight was silly and goofy and was just like, lol, it'd be funny to put Zoro and Luffy against each other. But this chapter, oh my god,
was
so good.
This was like a combination of... It's actually a combination of three things. It's a combination of the Robin thing, but like before Sanji actually asks for help. Like, he doesn't actually go, I want to live, or anything. It's like a combination of that. The bit where... what am I... I forgot. But one of the other things was, it reminded me of Arlong Park, where at the end Luffy says, I'm going to wait here until you ask me to help you, because it's that sort of like, instead of... Oh, yeah, and the other thing it's combining is him doing the Sanji thing of not fighting back when it's not necessary. And he realizes it's not necessary because, he doesn't want to beat Sanji to a pulp and bring him back. He just wants Sanji to come back. So if Sanji wants to... he has to wait until Sanji asks him. And the reason it reminds me of Arlong Park is because of the specific page that I went and looked at. Page 16 of chapter 81.
Ooh, research.
Yeah, where Nami's crying and Luffy's just put the hat on her.
Oh yeah, that's the famous one. That's the one where it turns.
And then it's like...
and then the march to Arlong Park happens? Oh my god, it's insane.
The rest of the three of them were all standing there waiting. And Luffy was waiting. They were waiting for the permission to help,
Oh, those panels. Oh,
they're just so
good. They're so fucking good. That's the shit. So
it's that same right. They got to wait for Sanji to say please, save.
So okay. So let's go into a little bit of detail, because we've talked a lot about how much we love it. But, so what's happening, you've probably read the chapter by now, but if you haven't, what's happening is that, fuck, what is happening, Gib? I forgot what happened. Oh, right. Okay.
Sanji's beating the shit out of Luffy, and he's saying...
That's right.
Go away, just go away, just go away, and Luffy's like, no, not gonna happen, bitch. And
more to the point. Well, okay, that's entirely true. But it's Luffy standing there while Sanji says, "You need to leave, or I'm going to just fucking beat you up, you schoolyard nerd. And I'm the bully man." And Luffy says, "I will not move, I will not leave, and I will not fight back." Because, and in this way, it almost felt like Oda was answering my criticisms from last chapter. And this is one of those times when I feel like a fool for criticizing One Piece. And I love that feeling. I love it. So everyone beat me up. I'm an idiot too. Because what Oda did this chapter was set our expectations with like being sort of dumb in the sense that Sanji was saying all the shit that obviously wasn't true. Like, get out! I never liked you guys. You're a bunch of fucking fags. I hate you. You're dumb. Leave. And we're just like, we don't buy it at all. Like, why are you? This is just a waste of our time. But this chapter is Luffy saying all the things we were thinking. Like, obviously, I don't believe any of this. This is clearly bullshit. You need to come back with me. Oh my god, the way. The little things that we're doing as readers of like thinking back and the little flashback panels to moments of their shared history together, like the parties they had. And my favorite one was at the very end of the chapter when it flashes back to like the moment when Sanji decided he was going to join, when it's just Sanji looking at the camera and it's like, "Have you heard of All Blue?" And it's from Luffy's perspective, seeing Sanji looking at him. "Have you heard of All Blue? Oh, and that's when their dreams united and they became bros for life." And at that moment, Sanji would never betray Luffy. Not like this. So, it was so good. It was so good.
I love the line about like every time you kick me, that was the pain you were feeling, not me.
Oh, well, that's the whole thing. Like, so the chapter starts with, and to be frank, there wasn't like a lot of things that happened to this chapter. It was mostly Luffy getting beat up and then responding to getting beat up.
Yeah.
But so at the beginning, Sanji's just going ham and kicking the shit out of Luffy. But then, and that just happens for a while. And then later, like Sanji's trying to leave. And he's in the, he's in the car, like they're driving away from Luffy's beaten up body, and Luffy calls out to him. He's like, "Sanji, I know that you can't be doing. I know this isn't serious. I'm going to wait here for you to come back because I refuse to leave and become Pirate King without you because I know that you are my bro for life. We're true Nakama boys.
Yeah,
you're a member of my ninja clan."
It was interesting that I think that was like
and Sanji
the first
breaks
time,
down and he just starts crying. He's just a mess.
That's the first time Luffy's like said explicitly that I can't become the Pirate King without you. Like
dude, that's the thing. This is new fucking territory happening this chapter, that Luffy would willingly put his own dreams on hold. I don't know if people realize this, but Luffy would not do this sort of thing for just anybody. He would not do this for like Rebecca or for the population of Dressrosa. He wouldn't do that shit. He's not willing to like just stand here and waste away. If it came to like he has to go beat up an enemy or do something like that he would probably be down for. But to choose to wait here for someone to change their mind about something, he's
putting
a chapter,
it all on Sanji because he knows that fighting him is pointless here, and
he's not going to do it. He's his brother. He can't do it. Oh my god, I can't. I'm sorry. This is a total clusterfuck of things we're saying. This is totally out of order and possibly hard to keep track of. But
the people who watch this podcast hopefully read the chapter before coming here.
That's true. Which I encourage. I encourage everybody to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, but all right. Let's take a step back. Okay. If you got something, go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say that I like the subtle hints that the rest of the Vinsmoke family kind of already get it, that they know that Sanji actually does like Luffy and he's just pretending, but he has to pretend, otherwise Luffy would keep trying to get him.
I was gonna say something like that because honestly that might have been my favorite thing about the chapter. It's just the way, well, just it's one thing I really loved about it, because Luffy, they do this whole emotional thing. He beats him up, he leaves, and then Sanji is just so obviously agonized and starts crying after putting up this whole facade to everybody. And the family, like, it's not like Oda showed them staring at him and being like, we understand that he's upset. It's like he didn't even focus on, and they just continue to sit there in the small times that they are noticed, and they're just allowing this to happen. Like, they don't react. They don't say like, hey, I think you actually like this guy. It's just the way that it wasn't addressed that they did anything is showing us how they have accepted the situation, and it just makes it even more fucked up that they're okay with forcing Sanji to go through this pain. Oh, it characterizes every party in such a great, rich way. Ooh, baby was good.
Yeah, he's fooling nobody, literally.
Yeah. Oh god, I loved it. Okay, but tangible detail that I really liked was that so during the beatdown of Luffy, one thing I noticed was during the first kick to his face. During that kick, it's great.
Really good
Luffy
panel.
gets his tooth knocked out, and it's gone for the rest of the chapter. Yeah, we all know it's anime logic, so it'll be back eventually. It's nothing to really worry about. But just the fact that for this chapter, that tooth remained gone, and like really helped sell the thing that I'm going to talk about, which is that all of the kicks that Sanji did, and the fact that Luffy just stood there unguarded and just took them like a bitch, or rather, like a fucking hero, like a champ. Like, he looked like he was getting so beat up for real. This was like final arc battle level of damage that Luffy appeared to be taking, and it's the particular way that Oda chose to draw Luffy and the damage he was taking, the way that his face was all messed up.
Like this
is rare. This is not often. It's not often that he looks this beat up, and it was so good at selling the horrific, like how awful this exchange is between the two. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it's cool in that way, and it's also cool in that. I mean, like the time when he was in the bar with Zoro and he didn't fight back because it was like the Shanks thing. But he was like, he came out and he was bloody, but it's like that was nothing, you know.
And that's
something
another,
like this. This could, if it continued and Sanji was actually serious, I feel like Sanji is probably like holding back a bit because obviously.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So like, if he was actually really going for it, he could knock Luffy out probably. And it was
yeah.
Well, you know, it's much more serious, and also it shows that how strong Sanji is.
Right. That was another good thing. For this is the first time that like the soldiers. Well, I mean, they're just fucking mooks like the soldiers. But they were like, wow, he really is as strong as a Vinsmoke. We can't really take their opinion that seriously. We need to see like how he does against one of his brothers in a fight to actually know if he is stronger than them. Because right now, we don't know if Sanji truly is stronger than his family or not. Because every fight against them has been, a big handicap in one way or another. So none of it's like set in stone. But I think that we will see eventually, because it hasn't been proven one way or the other. Sanji's going to beat the shit out of his whole family. It's going to happen, and I can't wait. I'm excited in a big way.
Was there anything you wanted to say about Nami? She was sort of here.
Yeah. She only did one thing, but it was meaningful. You know what?
Oh yeah.
I think your comparison to the Jaya arc, laughing them and beating them out of the bar, is really apt for this chapter, and I hadn't even thought of that. And that is one of the best scenes in all of One Piece, especially the follow-up with Blackbeard. That might be my single favorite panel, except for the bell after Skypiea. Probably my number 2 panel, the one where Blackbeard is saying, "A man's dream will never die." That might be the best thing in all of One Piece. But, and coincidentally, they're both in the Skypiea Jaya arc. Interesting. Yeah. But the way that, the only thing Nami really did was slap the shit out of Sanji, which left a mark, so she's serious. And it was more of a statement that, you have gone over the line. This is unacceptable, what you have said to Luffy and me. And obviously Sanji's doing it because he's trying to encourage them to leave. He doesn't want them to put themselves at risk by trying to save him. So it's understandable why he's doing what he's doing, but, Nami is not quite as forgiving as Luffy when it comes to these matters. And it really is a mirror of her response at the end of, or during the Jaya bar fight scene, where she was also like, guys, beat them up. They've crossed the line. They're talking all the shit about you. And, it's good of Luffy and Zoro to not have done that because they weren't worth it. But at the same time, it makes sense. If that was Killer and Kid, Captain Kid in there, all those pirates would have been dead. And Nami, is she's a little more vicious than our boys. But the way that she kind of encapsulates in her own small, dare I say, feminine way, I thought it was a nice touch. At least she was included in the scene. It's not like we ignored her. She did something proportionate to what she could have done in the scene, I think. So I was perfectly fine with it. Not to mention the fact that Nami and Sanji, you know, they've known each other for a long time, so it's very appropriate for her to do what she did, I think. To be mad on this level.
Yeah. It's all
do you have
around,
any particular comment? No, yeah.
About Nami? Well, I forgot about the slap, but yeah.
She was tearing up. That was sad.
Yeah, she was. I
Made me
don't
sad.
know whether she would actually want to leave now for what Sanji has done.
Yeah,
I'm
mean,
thinking she's probably caught up in the moment, and she probably would.
I agree. I think that Nami's probably the smartest one in the crew, except for maybe Usopp or something. I guess Frankie too, maybe. But she's really smart, and she's gonna figure out once her emotions have calmed down. Cause she's a dumb woman. Nah, it's not what I'm saying. But she's just, you know, her one of her best friends has more or less betrayed her, or has, you know, saying all this. She's talking mad shit. It's like when your friend tweets some hateful things about you on Twitter. It really hurts, and you take a while to calm down. That's what's happening in this chapter of One Piece. So I think she'll get over it. She'll kind of be on Luffy's side. She'll be like the straight man. It's like, Luffy, you can't stay here on a hunger strike. That's crazy. And he'll be like, no, Nami, I'm gonna do it. She's gonna be like the quote unquote voice of reason and encourage him to leave. But you know, she'll be happy when things inevitably work out and this hunger strike plan works out in one way or another, and they get their boy back.
I think what's gonna happen is Luffy is actually gonna stay there, and he's not gonna move, and Nami is gonna try and find a way. Find out what is wrong with Sanji, and then go tell Luffy so that he can come.
Well,
so that
that
he can
brings
come
me...
get a delicious hamburger.
Yeah, she'll probably bring food and dangle it in front of Luffy. That brings me to one of my favorite things about this chapter, and it's not that often. What?
Was it the hunger strike?
Oh, well, yes, because in particular, it's the character of Luffy presented in this chapter. Because it is not often that we really get something that involves, a core aspect of Luffy being particularly, plot relevant. A lot of it is just kind of basic shonen hero stuff. Like, I'm going to beat up the bad guys because friendship, and I'm going to be the best, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to win. And that's, we get it. That's just what MCs do. But this chapter... I thought it was fascinating that Luffy would choose to do something like a hunger strike specifically. So, I mean, if you're not following along, Luffy at the end, as he's leaving, he's like, Sanji, you may have said all these bad things about you, but I know you're coming back. I am staying here. I am putting my life on the line. My future as the Pirate King depends on you rejoining me. And the way I'm doing that is that I'm going on a hunger strike. I will only eat, from now on, the food that you prepare for me, or else I will die here. That is my pledge. So that's what he did. So, but by doing that, and saying he's going to stay here and only eat Sanji's food, he's choosing inaction. You know, he's choosing it's like fucking Mohandas Gandhi, you know, or Mahatma Gandhi or whatever his name is, Gandhi. So, what's the word? Passive resistance or whatever. He's being a pacifist right now, which is a way different thing. Yeah, it's just Luffy, who's this, you know, shonen jump action hero, jumping around, active, doing things, is choosing this totally unusual path for him to take. But what's genius about it is it's the exact thing that Sanji's character has been built on from the very start, about caring about people getting the food they need. So it's the perfect way for Luffy to prey on Sanji's particular weakness. And it took me a little while to accept it, because I was like, oh, why doesn't Luffy just go beat him up? But when I thought about the themes at play here, I think it is an absolutely genius move, and it just reminds me why I love One Piece. These sorts of things happen.
Since Luffy is known for having a ravenous appetite, he's gonna get hungry real quick.
That's the other thing.
He's gonna be sitting there I can't believe I said that. Oh no!
Not to mention
stick to it.
Yeah, he's on Whole Cake Island, which is the fucking place. The ground under him is cake, presumably. So this is gonna be real fucking hard to not fucking eat. But you know, I had a slight concern, which is Sanji's getting married later that day. And this hunger strike, is it normally going for a day without eating isn't that big a deal for more or less everybody, but maybe because it's Luffy, he's gonna be starving real fast. That would make, especially considering he just ate more food than he's ever eaten in his life in the form of those crackers or biscuits. So
I think what's gonna happen is that it's gonna go from super serious, I'm gonna go on a hunger strike, and the next chapter, maybe not the next chapter, but the next time we see Luffy, he's going to be, comically depressed about how he can't eat anything.
Yeah.
But he's gonna stick to his guns and he's gonna say, no, I can't.
You know, Luffy's is a pretty cool guy who does a lot of action things, running around and jumping and punching guys and winning the day and how shoku haki using God Emperor of Mankind. But this is one of those moments, I mean, because I already know that he's going to stick with it and it's going to be like his defining thing through this arc and maybe some other stuff after. But this is going to be his thing until Sanji comes back. And the fact that Luffy, like the obsessed food guy, the fact that that trait of his is becoming relevant. And I mean, I thought it was going to be like an eating contest sort of thing, but this is way better. This is way more interesting than just like some eating contest with Big Mom or something. And I don't know, maybe that'll happen too. But this is a great way to utilize that unique aspect of him. And it is, it's just like such a great dramatic usage of this particular trait of Luffy. And it makes the fact that he's willing to do this and like subject himself to something so odious to him in particular just makes the character truly heroic in my eyes. He really believes in his crewmates, in Sanji, and we know he'd do this for any of his crew at this point. And this is one of those chapters that makes me really like Luffy as a main character. It was a great usage of his character, and I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Yeah. I am wondering though, he's going to be sitting there like out in the open, and the island is on like red alert. Is he going to have to like fight people that come up to him?
Ooh, maybe that's why he'll get real hungry.
He'll get real hungry real fast fighting all those people.
The island is on red alert.
They might even capture him at some point.
Oh man, but you know what? That could easily be true. But I think that later on in the arc, we are going to get a shot. Remember when Sanji found Zeph after like the months of being stranded on that rock, and Zeph and Sanji too were like super emaciated and like looked like death, and you know, it was horrible. I think we're going to get some sort of shot like that at the end of this little arc, this hunger strike arc, where it's going to be Luffy looking like death because he hasn't eaten. And you know, it's a little annoying. Well, it's not annoying. It's going to be silly because it'll happen in the course of like a day or two, maybe, if this prediction comes true. But because it's Luffy, it'll make a little more sense. That is, you know, metabolism so fast. So I hope that happens. I think it'd be a great sort of full circle for Sanji's character. To have that sort of happen to him again in this new situation, and they can, it's like a visual reference to the Zeph, you know, thing, and there'll probably be some panels being like, oh, it's just like Zeph. I don't know, maybe that won't happen, but I think it'd be cool, and I hope it does, and I think it'll be great. Everything about this chapter is genius. It was absolutely genius, and even though
I agree,
there was less like information in it than normal, like the artistry of it was kicked up a whole nother level. So. Truly, a choice chapter if there ever was one. Chapter 844, Luffy versus Sanji. Bellissimo. That's brilliant and
10 out of 10.
Something-issimo. Yeah, it's a 10. That's a 10 out of 10 chapter for real, no joke.
Do we have anything else to say about it?
I have no. I have nothing else to say. I'm all done.
Well, neither do I. It was great.
It was great. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, and we will see you next chapter, just hopefully next week, but you never know for sure. All right, bye-bye!
See ya!